In this video, I'm going to describe a public park or garden. And for this topic, you should say where it is, what it looks like, what you do there, and how you feel about this place. Well, the place I'd like to describe is our garden at home. It's one of my favourite places in the whole world. I first saw it when we went to view the house. We were thinking of renting it, but really we weren't too convinced until we saw the garden. It stretches all the way from the kitchen right down to the railway line at the bottom. Firstly, I must say that it's absolutely fantastic. It's about 50 metres long and it slopes downwards towards the bottom. Right near the house there's a kind of patio area where you can sit, sunbathe or just chill out. There's a massive wooden table and a couple of benches, and the sun beats down on it in summer. Then, on your right, is a huge garage with all sorts of stuff in it like tools, deck chairs and some old plant pots. If you go down the path, you come to the lawn. The grass is lush, thick and green, and you have to mow it every couple of weeks. In addition, there are some bushes on the right, and down the left side, a vegetable patch. We grow beans, cauliflowers and cabbages there. Beyond that, where the grass ends, there is a tiny pond where you get loads of frogs, and around it some lovely flower beds with crocuses and daffodils in spring. Right down at the bottom, near the train line, we've got a couple of fruit trees. There's an apple tree, a plum tree and a pear tree. It's absolutely brilliant in September. You can just go and pick as much fruit as you like. So let's take a look at this model answer. I've started this one with, well, the place I'd like to describe is. Make sure you know how you're going to start your answer. In the whole world. This just makes it a little more interesting and complex, instead of just saying the world. View the house. This is what you do when you go to look around a house when you're thinking of buying it or renting it. And I've used this to make it more complex in terms of grammar, so past continuous. We were thinking of renting. This means when you don't buy it, but you pay somebody each month and they own the house. We weren't too convinced. I'm not convinced. This means when you're not sure of something. It stretches all the way from the kitchen down to the railway line. This means it basically goes from the kitchen down to the railway line. Remember to use your discourse markers. So firstly, but I've just added something extra to make it a bit better. Firstly, I must say that it slopes downwards. When we have a hill, it has a slope. A patio area. This is an area that's paved and it's a place where you can sit or chill out. This is an idiomatic expression and it means to completely relax and do nothing. Remember not to use words like big or small. Use words like massive, tiny. Benches, these are things you find in parks and gardens and things that you can sit on. The sun beats down. This is just describing what the sun does when it's very hot. A huge garage. Very big. Stuff. A useful word, it just means things. Tools, this is equipment for doing work in the garden or mending your car. Deck chairs are things that we sit on in the summer. And old plant pots. The lawn is the grass, and the grass is lush, thick and green. Now lush does mean kind of thick and green, but I'm just showing that I've got lots of vocabulary, so I'm putting a list in there. Mow, this means to cut the grass. In addition, furthermore, moreover, additionally, remember it's the same as writing. You need your discourse markers to give it organisation. Bushes, this is a small tree. When we have an area of vegetables, we call it a vegetable patch. Now, I don't actually grow these vegetables in my garden at all, but I tried to think of the most complex words I could for vegetables rather than potatoes and carrots, beans, cauliflowers, cabbages. Beyond that, that means kind of after that, further than that. A tiny pond, again, don't use small, use tiny. Frogs, this is a frog. Flower beds, where we have flowers, we call them a bed. So we have a vegetable patch and we have a flower bed. These are crocuses and these are daffodils. Again, it was just to put complex vocabulary, it wasn't really true. A couple of, instead of saying two. Apple tree, plum tree, pear tree. I was just trying to get some more vocabulary in there to show the examiner, look, I know lots of words. Absolutely brilliant. This means it's great, it's fantastic, but it just sounds more complex when you're using words like absolutely, incredibly, extremely in front of your adjective. So try and make sure your IELTS speaking as colourful as this garden is. Thanks for watching.